This afternoon, after ASR prayers, Moti Mia's eyes will be gouged out with a date thorn. The task will be carried out by Idris from Nabinagar, someone who has done this kind of thing before. Moti Mia is currently being held in the bungalow of Barkat Sahib, his hands and feet bound. Though there's a group of people guarding him, it's unnecessary. Not only is escape impossible, but Moti doesn't even have the strength to sit up. His ribs are broken, and all the fingers of his right hand are crushed. Blood hangs from his nose like a string, and his white kurta is stained with blood, stuck to his body. He was unconscious until an hour ago. Though he's now awake, it doesn't seem like his sense of reality has fully returned. The news that his eyes will be gouged out doesn't seem to disturb him. He merely sighed and asked, "When will you take my eyes?" Hearing that it will be done after ASR, he appears to feel certain of his fate. In a calm voice he requests, "Give me some water. I want to drink." Water was brought, as refusing to give water brings bad luck. On the day of judgment, they say, when your chest burns with thirst, there will be no water to quench it. A brass container of water was placed in front of Moti, but he grumbled, "How am I supposed to drink if you don't pour it into my mouth? My hands are tied. How thoughtless are you people?" It was Hassan Ali who captured Moti from Kenduya Bazaar, and everyone acknowledged Hassan's right over him. Any decision regarding Moti had to involve Hassan Ali's opinion. However, on the matter of water, Hassan remained silent, instead exclaiming in disbelief, "Can you hear this rascal's attitude? He's about to lose his eyes and he has no concern. He's talking back. How strange! Hey, you scoundrel, are you not afraid?" Moti didn't respond but spat, blood mingling with the spit. More people gathered around him. The word had spread. The prospect of seeing a man's eyes gouged out with a date thorn was drawing a crowd. Events like this don't happen every day. By the time of ASR, the place was expected to be packed with people, and not just ordinary folk, but important ones too. Retired Station Master Mobarak from Kenduya had arrived, and so had the headmaster of Nayapara High School. Hassan Ali gave up his seat to the headmaster, who pulled out his glasses from his kurta pocket, looked at Moti and asked, "Is this Moti?" Hassan Ali, smiling, replied, "Yes, Headmaster Sahib, this is the rascal Moti. His eyes will be taken out after ASR. How did you catch him?" "That's quite a story," Hassan began, as the headmaster chewed on his betel leaf, waiting eagerly to hear. Hassan had told the story of Moti's capture 11 times already, and would have to tell it many more as not everyone had arrived yet. He didn't mind. It was a story worth telling 100,000 times. Hassan cleared his throat and started. "I found out there was no kerosene in the house. My family said there was none, and I got annoyed. I had brought kerosene just that day from the market, so I grabbed the bottle and set out. On the way I ran into Suleiman and he asked, 'Uncle, where are you off to?'" Moti, even though in pain, listened intently to Hassan's story, which branched out with every telling. This was the first time Suleiman appeared in the tale. Moti was curious about what role Suleiman would play. The headmaster, clearly impressed after hearing the story, praised Hassan. "You've shown great courage. Truly brave work. Did Moti have any weapons with him?" "No, nothing." "God saved you. If he had any weapons, he would have killed you for sure." Everyone nodded in agreement. The headmaster then asked, "So, it's true that his eyes will be taken?" "Yes, that's the decision of everyone. Once his eyes are gone, he'll be crippled for life. There's no use in going to the police." "True, the police won't help. But what if they cause trouble?" "Don't worry, the local member has gone to talk to the police." Moti noticed the headmaster looking at him. There was a childish wonder and joy in the headmaster's eyes, as if he was excited about witnessing the act of eye gouging and planned to stay until after ASR to see it. Moti wasn't particularly scared. The initial shock had worn off, and that was the main thing. If his eyes hadn't been taken in the first rush, there was still hope. Maybe someone before ASR would have mercy and say, "Let it go, leave him be. There's no point in taking out his eyes. beat him up and let him go. Once one person said it, others would agree. Someone had to say it. Moti himself couldn't beg for forgiveness. That would only anger them further. If he showed weakness, they would hate him more. People don't pity the weak, they despise them.
The headmaster, lighting a cigarette, asked, "Moti, want a smoke?" The crowd burst into laughter. Moti was uneasy. This wasn't a good sign. They were starting to find him amusing. People laugh at animals, not humans. They were beginning to see him as some kind of wild beast. And taking the eyes of a beast wasn't a big deal, especially since the crowd had come from far and wide to witness the spectacle. They wouldn't leave without getting their entertainment. Moti looked at the headmaster and said, "Sir, I need water." Someone dumped the entire container over Moti's face, and the crowd laughed again. Moti's heart sank. This wasn't going well. He needed to act fast to stop them from treating him like an animal. His thoughts wandered to his wife. If he could save his eyes, he could think of her properly. Even if he didn't, he could still think of her. Thinking didn't require eyes. He didn't think of her often, except when he was in jail. Then, thoughts of her were comforting. She had suffered so much because of him. When he was imprisoned, the police would often visit his home at odd hours, saying they were checking if Moti was there. A beautiful woman alone in a house was bound to attract them, but despite everything, his wife stayed for a long time. Every time Moti returned home, he feared she would have left. One day, she did leave. No one knew where she went. People said she had moved to the market, as most wives of thieves and robbers do. He had accepted it easily, like many truths in life. Moti had come to Kenduya because of a rumor that his wife was here, going by the name Marzina. But before he could meet her, this trouble had come upon him. The ASR call to prayer began, and Moti, with great effort, turned on his side. When would they take his eyes? Surely not before the prayer. There was still time for something to happen. Moti clung to the hope that someone would step forward, like that girl at the train station who had once saved him by shouting, "Stop! What are you doing?" Just as people were about to beat him to death, she had appeared out of nowhere, and her outburst had stunned everyone into stopping. Moti hadn't even thanked her before she disappeared. Now, surrounded by so many people, Moti believed that someone, like that girl, would come forward at the last moment and say, "What are you doing?" That would save him. He had to keep faith in people.
Thanks for watching. Hey, if you're enjoying this content and don't want to miss out on more, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll always be in the loop for new videos.